Good morning, and thank you for joining me today as we outline some changes that are being implemented as part of Budget 2015. Do a pre-budget announcement today. I want to say up front that our government has demonstrated the highest value, understanding, and commitment to education, and that will not change. Over the last decade, from 2003 to 2014, the education budget of Newfoundland and Labrador has increased by 48%, despite a decline of 17.5% or 14,000 students over that time. This past year, we allocated over $872 million for education initiatives, and we have committed to providing the best possible learning environments for our youth. Education is a priority for our government. We have invested in the core foundations of the system, including programming, transportation, student support services, human resources, and infrastructure. Our average spending per pupil has increased from $7,400 per student in 2003 to $13,000 in 2014, an increase of 75%. We have made unprecedented investments in K-12 school infrastructure, allocating over $681 million. This has resulted in 14 new schools that have opened, 8 more in various stages of planning or construction, 27 major extensions and renovation projects with 10 more underway, and more than 1,900 repair and maintenance projects. Over the past few months, the Premier has been very clear that due to the decline in oil prices, there has been a strain placed on our provincial revenues. As a result, all departments have been asked to review their budgets and look for reduction measures. We are managing our way through this process. Very difficult time for the province. Taking a prudent approach, and we remain committed to continuing investing in education. We are mapping out the actions needed to return this province to surplus, while at the same time continuing to make investments in key areas. Today, I want to outline 3 specific decisions related to the upcoming budget. I will begin with the changes to the teacher allocation for the coming school year. As part of the budget process, we've had to make difficult choices to manage the deficit. As a result, there will be a reduction in the teacher allocation for September 2015 from 5,379.75 teaching units to 5,302.25 teaching units, a reduction of 77.5 teaching units. The removal of the 77.5 teaching units equates to a reduction of approximately 1.4% of the overall teacher allocation for the entire province. This change will be managed through an adjustment to class caps in grades 4 to 9 and a reduction in units as a result of a decline in student enrollment. Regarding class caps, for the upcoming school year, the department will allocate to school districts based on the following caps. Kindergarten to grade 3, there is no change to the class caps. Grades 4 to 6, class cap will increase by 1 to 26. Grades 7 to 9, class cap will increase by 2 to 29. Elementary and intermediate multi-graded class caps will increase by 3 to 18, where 2 grades are combined. Although this means that in some schools there will be minimal increase to class sizes in grades 4 to 9, our average class sizes in September 2015 for K-12 will be approximately 18.4 students per class, up from 18.2 in the current school year. We are also ensuring that class cap sizes for primary grades remain unchanged, and there is no change to the allocation formula for students with exceptionalities. While we do recognize there are areas in the province that are experiencing a notable increase in students, overall, the school system is still experiencing a decline in student enrollment. Due to this decline, 18.5 units will be reduced from the teacher allocation for the coming school year. The changes to the teacher allocation will result in an annualized savings of approximately $7 million. We take great pride in the advancements we have made in modernizing and improving our overall school system, and we remain committed to allocating based on class caps. Despite these changes to the teacher allocation, our province remains comparable to the cap sizes in the Atlantic provinces, and we will continue to have one of the best pupil-teacher ratios in the country. Having spent 20 years in the school system, I do want to take the time to give credit to the exceptional teachers that we have throughout our province. The work and support they provide to our students is helping shape the future of Newfoundland and Labrador, and certainly give credit for the contribution that they make to school life and certainly to the communities in which they live. In addition to the impact on the education system, I'm sure that teachers will also be wondering about the impact this will have on their profession and jobs. We expect that through natural attrition in our system, there will continue to be opportunities for current teachers and for those looking to enter the workforce in the coming school year. We know that for September 2015, the English School District has already been told that 151 of the approximately 500 eligible teachers will be retiring, and we do expect more. I also want to emphasize that there are no changes to the teacher allocation formula for students with exceptionalities. In fact, as part of Budget 2015, we will increase the $16 million student assistant budget by $500,000. This will provide approximately 100 additional hours per day to support students with exceptionalities. As well, I would point out that there are no reductions to the allocation formula for school administrators. We're making this announcement today ahead of the budget because we have to give the school districts time to deploy the allocations to individual schools and certainly minimize the impact in advance of the May 7th deadline. Another announcement I want to make today is that while we have made a decision, a very difficult decision I might add, to reduce the teaching units as a means to help manage the provincial deficit, I also want to announce today that our government remains on track for the full implementation of full-day kindergarten beginning in September 2016. This is a significant initiative that we know parents and early learning educators support, and we are committed to maintaining the timelines we have previously announced. When full-day kindergarten is launched, there will be 142.5 teaching units returning to the school system for 2016. Our government will continue to focus on our core foundations of education. While we are faced with fiscal challenges that we must address, we will continue to provide quality learning environments for our students. And I reiterate again, our government, our Premier, continues to make education a priority in this province. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and I certainly open the floor now to any questions.
Are you worried what this will mean for especially rural schools that are already facing declining numbers of students and are now going to be facing a reduction in the number of teachers substantially as well?
I think any time we have to make these kinds of decisions for reductions, we're obviously concerned about impacts, but we also have to live within the realities and the means in which we operate. And education is a significant part of the provincial budget, and I think we all recognize the situation we're in. What we've done here with respect to reductions, particularly around class caps and around multi-grades and declining enrollments, that will spread out across the system. It won't just be in rural schools. I mean, this will be the larger schools are probably the ones who are utilizing the class caps more so than the rural areas. So this will be spread out. It's certainly not just a rural decision.
No, but I understand the NLTA was looking for having separate allocations for rural schools. Why not do that?
I had a good conversation this morning actually with the president of the NLTA, Mr. Din, We had a great conversation about not only these decisions, but some other aspects that's important to the NLTA, important to teachers, and I've certainly acknowledged important to our education system. So it's, you know, as I pointed out to him, to be quite frank, we're in a very difficult time this year. Some tougher decisions have to be made, but certainly acknowledge the challenges that exist in our classrooms, acknowledge the need for supports, acknowledge the importance of special services, and certainly acknowledge the contribution that teachers make. And, you know, based on that, we've made some tough decisions, but certainly firmly committed to working with the NLTA, our very valuable teachers, as we go forward and look to, you know, continue to make the right decisions around education.